And welcome back to All About Stack Cash, where we discuss the Stack Cash protocol, which is a decentralized community banking DAO. Today, we'll be discussing part 2 of All About Stack Cash, where we look at the white paper for specifics on the Stack Cash protocol. If you missed part 1, feel free to look in the description of this video, or if you look in the corner right now, you'll see a link to part 1. So over the course of this video and those to come, we'll be discussing all the aspects of Stack Cash, from giving a general overview of the ecosystem to talking about its specific parts, more in depth about NTTs, the Stack token, the Cash token, the Stack launch, team rewards and payout structures, roadmaps, FAQs, social media, and a lot more. So in part 1, we discussed the Stack Cash overview, basically giving a broad look at the Stack Cash protocol and essentially it being a two-token system that's led by DeFi users for DeFi users. So here in part 2, we'll be discussing specifically the entities and governance of Stack Cash. So starting with DAO member levels and governance, let's talk about some DAO specifics. So DAO, meaning decentralized autonomous organization, allows participants to have a vote in certain aspects of the project. And that's the essence of Stack Cash. We allow users to say how they want the project to go. And as a DAO, Stack Cash is built upon all users have a voice in the inner workings of the ecosystem. Our DAO and governance is special because Stack Cash has no dev wallet and no team wallet. But even larger, the project itself is ran by board members, committee members, and DAO members that collectively nominate and vote on certain aspects of the protocol. For the sake of explaining the DAO and the governance of Stack Cash, an NTT is essentially used to pair a user to a certain voting level and certain protocol rewards. So voting power is broken into 3 groups. You have the top level, which is the board, which board members are also multi-sig trustees and board NTT holders. Also, you have the committee, which is the second level voting power, which is comprised of committee NTT holders, board NTT holders, and also team leaders. And last but not least, we have the DAO members, which is all participants that are not board or committee NTT holders, meaning that all participants in Stack Cash have a part in what goes on. Let's talk some governance. So governance tokens and protocols are a type of cryptocurrency that allow token holders to vote on the direction of a blockchain project. The primary purpose of governance is to decentralize decision making. So not having a small group determine everything that goes on with the project. Stack Cash has an additional level of governance. That is the team treasury governance, meaning that user as part of a team has an opportunity to vote on specifics within the team, such as names, team rules, etc. So now that we've explained Stack Cash as a DAO and governance, let's talk about NTTs and team building. So what is an NTT and why do you all have an NTT and not an NFT? So NTT stands for non-transferable token. So unlike NFTs that can be bought and sold, after being purchased, they're permanently attached to a wallet address and is used by Stack Cash to recognize which users or which wallets would receive additional platform rewards, such as board, committee, or team leader rewards. And the NTT serves the user and the platform like an ID. So what's the purpose of NTTs? One main purpose is that NTTs are user-friendly and simple, easy to use. Also, it provides an optional additional way for users to earn rewards, not just typical rewards, but rewards through protocol treasuries. And specific to Stack Cash, how we're using NTTs is to organize governance, meaning voting, and team treasuries as well. So how does NTTs work? So any user can purchase protocol NTTs to receive additional rewards from the NTT treasury. For instance, if you purchase a committee NTT, you will be able to receive rewards from the committee treasury in perpetuity. And one thing that's great is that each NTT treasury is a permanent market participant in Stack and will always add benefits to its users or its holders. Now, to differentiate the types of NTTs, there are some NTTs that can be triggered by actions and others that are permanently connected to wallets. So for team NTTs and hybrid H-board NTTs, both are triggered by actions and can't be bought after launch. On the other side, all board entities, which is a limited time only, and committee entities, which is available anytime, once bought, are permanently connected to those wallets. One great thing about NTTs is that all holders can also be team leaders, as long as a user hits the qualifications to be a team leader. So NTTs are a one-time purchase and is a non-refundable nor tradable asset, and the user swaps their funds to purchase NTTs, and the user's funds to purchase those NTTs are swapped for Stack and then added to that respective treasury. So let's talk about the options. So there's 4 total options on NTTs. So we have the board NTT, which is not available after the Stack liquidity event. It's also permanent and it gives users a top level voting power and rewards. So now committee NTT, always available to the public for purchase. Once purchased, a committee entity is permanent and it gives users a second level voting power and rewards. So the hybrid board entity can be purchased pre-launch from early adopters. So these early depositors can get up to 250% of the deposit back after launch. So joining Stack Cash early and purchasing an H-board entity rewards users directly after launch. So after the launch, the way users can attain the H-board NTT is by triggering it with reaching at least the average stack of board members. So it takes all the board and H-board entity holders, and the average stack that they hold will be the new limit on H-board NTTs, making it to whereas those who hold a high amount of stack tokens will automatically qualify for the H-board NTT rewards after launch, unless the H-board NTT was purchased in phase 1, which makes it permanent. Users can lose their H-board entity status if they fall beneath the average stack of other holders. And last but not least, we have the team leader NTT, which connects those who qualify to their own team treasury. The team leader NTT is always available and it's always free of charge. It's triggered by team leaders that receive 10 partners on their team. And through this team treasury, there'll be many rewards and other perks to being both team leaders and team partners. The team leader NTT holders or the treasury leaders receive team leader rewards along the way. However, a team leader must participate in order to receive rewards from their team treasury. Once the users triggered the team treasury, one key facet is that they can no longer be a part of any other team treasury. So a team treasury is permanent for a team leader. However, users can change teams in Stack Cash with a 30-day wait for rewards from the new treasury. Finally, let's discuss the rewards that users can expect to receive for being NTT holders. Again, each NTT is connected to a protocol treasury, which pays its users as well as the protocol. So for board and H-board NTT holders, they receive a portion of the board treasury reflections, which can be called often. And the percentage that goes to the holders according to how much they hold is they get 20% of the stack tokens and 20% of the stack tokens value into Cashbox directly. And these rewards from the overall reflections of the treasury are split based upon how much a user holds. Also, the board and the H-board NTT holders also get board treasury rebalances, which happens occasionally, but users get 20% stack tokens directly into their wallets and also 20% into the Cashbox rewards, which goes in directly based upon how much they hold. Additionally, if users were early adopters and purchased the H-board NTT in phase 1 or in our seed phase, as stated before, they can receive up to 250% of their deposit. So another protocol treasury is the committee treasury, which connects to the committee NTT. Committee NTT holders get reflections, which happens often, and it breaks down to 20% of the total reflections go to the stack tokens directly into users' wallets, and 20% goes directly into their Cashbox deposits. Committee entity holders also receive committee treasury rebalances, which pays at 20% in stack tokens directly to all holders and 20% into Cashbox directly for all committee entity holders. And this happens occasionally. And last but not least, we have the team treasuries, which we'll talk about the leader bonuses. So as a team leader NTT holder, there's 4 ways that team leaders are rewarded from their team treasury. The first is they receive team stack reflections monthly, meaning 5% of the total available stack from a team treasury's reflections goes to the team leader. Also, they receive team stack rebalances from their team treasury, which happens on a monthly basis, and the team leader again gets 5% directly in stack. Another way team leaders earn is through their team's Cashbox, which also pays out monthly and is able to be deposited directly into the team leader's Cashbox. And last but not least, we have the Team CBC pool, which also pays monthly, and it rewards team leaders 5% of their Team CBC pool. One thing of note for team leaders with team treasuries is that you must actively deposit at least monthly in order to receive your team leader rewards. So this has been all about Stack Cash Part 2, and we discussed NTTs and governance. If you haven't already, feel free to look in the description of this video for part 1, and also feel free to like this video as well as follow us on our other social media platforms. Thank you all again for watching and listening, and stay tuned for more from Stack Cash.
Stack some cash, we gon' stack some cash, we gon' pump our bags with that real DeFi money. Get some change, you can make some gains. We don't play no games, our team was born ready. Stack some cash, you gon' stack some cash, you gon' pump